In today's lesson, we are going to discuss what is steady state errors. As a control engineer, one will be asked to design a controller so that the controlled system will be stable, it will meet certain desired transient response specifications, and it has to satisfy some given steady state error requirements. So today we are going to take up what is steady state errors. We have seen that steady state means when t equal to infinity. Say for example, steady state output. What does it mean? It means output when t is equal to infinity. Similarly, steady state error means error when t is equal to infinity. We will look into the details. Okay, so steady state errors. So as I said before, steady state error means what is the error when t is equal to infinity. Fine. Difference between the input and the output, right, for a prescribed test input, right? And obviously it is a measure of system accuracy. So normally we will check steady state error for the three inputs: step input, velocity or ramp input, and parabolic or acceleration input. Okay. So when you take, if this is of unit step input, then Laplace transform will give you 1 by x. If it is a unit ramp input whose slope is 1, then you get a Laplace transform of 1 by s square. Similarly, if the parabolic input is half t square, then you get the Laplace transform as 1 by s cube. Now, why are we bothered about these three test signals? Why? Because any practically input signal which varies slowly with respect to time t can be considered as a combination of all the three. For example, from 0 to b, this part of the practical input signal is nothing but a velocity or a ramp input. B to C, it's a step input. C to D, it's an impulse. D to E, it is again another step input. And from E to F, it can be approximated by a parabolic input or an acceleration input. Okay. So any practical input signals which vary slowly with time can be decomposed or in terms of a step, a ramp, and a parabola. Now here I have shown a step input and two outputs. Output 1 merges or converges with the input 1 as t tends to infinity, whereas output 2 is having a constant displacement from the input side. Okay. So in case of our input and output 1, we can say steady state error is 0. Whereas in the case of input and output 2, there is a finite steady state error. This is a ramp input or a velocity input, and three outputs are shown here. Output 1 will merge with the ramp as time t tends to infinity, so that at steady state, the error is 0. Output 2 has a constant difference with respect to the input. This is the constant difference. The error is measured vertical difference like this. Okay. Whereas output 3 is diverging, or the steady state error will be infinity in the case of output 3. Now we are going to evaluate steady state errors, right? So this is our closed loop configuration. G of s is the forward path Planck transfer function. H of s is 1 here because we are considering unity feedback. What is error? Input minus output. So this signal is C of s, so that my error signal is R of s minus E of s. R of s minus C of s. Okay, that is my error. Okay. Now, if you remember final value theorem, what is that? Limit t tends to infinity f of t. What is that? It is nothing but limit s tends to 0 s into f of s. Okay. So we can make use of this final value theorem here. Now, from this expression, E of s equals R of s minus G of s E of s, I can write this as E of s into what? 1 plus G of s equal to R of s. Okay. Or what will be my E of s? E of s will be R of s divided by 1 plus G of s. Right. So now I can make use of final value theorem. Limit t tends to infinity E of t will be what? Limit s tends to 0 s into E of s, where E of s is limit s tends to 0 s into E of s is R of s divided by 1 plus Gs. Okay. So you can see here that the steady state error depends upon the input signal R of s and the transfer function, Planck transfer function G of s. Okay. I repeat, the steady state error depends upon the input signal as well as the Planck transfer function G of s. That is what is shown here. Okay. Limit s tends to 0 S into R of S divided by 1 plus G of S. So now we will consider steady state error for the three inputs. What's the steady state error when the input is a step signal, when the input is a velocity input or a ramp input? Similarly, when the input is a parabolic input or an acceleration input. Okay. Steady state error for a step input, right? For a step input means suppose step is of magnitude A, then R of T is A. So what will be R of S? A by S, right? So what will be steady state error? I can write my steady state error limit T tends to infinity, E of T as what? Limit S tends to 0, S into R of S divided by 1 plus GS. Okay, but what is my R of S? It is A by S. So that means limit S tends to 0, S into A by S whole divided by 1 plus GS. This S and this S gets cancelled. So what will you get? Limit S tends to 0, A divided by 1 plus G of S. Okay, A is a constant. That means this limit S tends to 0 can be brought down to the denominator. So it becomes A divided by 1 plus limit S tends to 0, G of S. Right? This limit S tends to 0, G of S is called Kp, where Kp is known as static position error constant. Static position error constant. Okay. Why? Because it resulted when the input was a step input or a position input or a displacement input. Okay. So Kp is called static position error constant. Right? Is called static position error constant. Okay. Kp is nothing but limit S tends to 0, G of S. Now, if G of S is of type 0, then Kp is non-zero and hence it results in a non-zero finite steady state error. What do you mean by that? For example, let us consider, say, G of S is 10 divided by S plus 1. Okay. What's the type? Type is 0. What's the order? Order is 1. Okay. Now, what will be Kp? Let us evaluate. Kp is limit S tends to 0, G of S. Right? So, limit S tends to 0, 10 by S plus 1, which means 10. So, what will be steady state error? ESS will be what? A divided by 1 plus Kp, which means A divided by 11, which is a finite quantity. That is what's written here. It is non-zero. Kp is non-zero and hence results in a non-zero finite steady state error. Now suppose G of S is a type 1, 10 divided by S into S plus 1. What's the type number here? Now it is 1 and order is 2. So what will be Kp? Kp will be limit S tends to 0, Gs, that means 10 divided by S into S plus 1. So as S tends to 0, this becomes 10 by 0, which is nothing but infinity. So what will be my steady state error? A divided by 1 plus infinity, which is nothing but 0. Okay. So for a step input to a unity feedback system, the steady state error will be 0 if G of S is at least of type 1. Okay. So from type 1, type 2 onwards, this will happen. Your static position error constant will become infinity. Okay. So that steady state error will be 0. Now, ramp input, steady state error for a ramp input. What is ramp input? R of T equal to A into T, right? Where A is the slope of the input function. So what will be R of S? R of S will be A by S, right? So you can substitute. Our steady state error will be limit S tends to 0, S into E of S. And E of S is nothing but R of S divided by 1 plus G of S. Fine. So what will you get? Limit S tends to 0, S into A by S, all divided by 1 plus G of S. So 1S and 1S gets cancelled. So this can be taken down. Right? So A divided by, this becomes R of S. R of S is A by S square. Okay, A by S square. So this becomes A limit S tends to 0, A divided by S in A divided by S plus SGS. Okay, limit is applicable to the whole denominator. Now what will you get? A divided by, as S tends to 0, this part becomes 0. That means you can write this as limit S tends to 0, S into G of S. This limit S tends to 0, G of S, S into G of S is called Kv, where Kv is called static velocity error constant. Static velocity error constant. Okay, so KV is called static velocity error constant and is given by limit s tends to 0 s into g of s. Again, let us take one example. Same example. Say g of s is equal to 10 divided by s plus 1. Okay, so what will be KV? Limit s tends to 0 s into g of s. That means KV will be equal to 0. So what will be the corresponding error? Corresponding error will be infinity. Okay, so if g of s is of type 0, then KV equal to 0 and the steady state error would be infinite, leading to diverging ramps. Okay, or let us take the next case. G of s equal to 10 by s into s plus 1. Okay, type 1 system. What will be KV? Limit s tends to 0 s into 10 divided by s into s plus 1. Okay, so this will get cancelled. As s tends to 0, you will get KV as 10. So what will be the steady state error? It will be a divided by 10, which means it is finite value. Okay, steady state error will be finite and non-zero. KV is finite. Okay, it's of type 1, then KV is finite and hence results in a constant steady state error. Now what happens if g of s is type 2? 10 by s square into s plus 1. Okay, so what will be KV? Limit s tends to 0. Limit s tends to 0. S into 10 divided by s square into s plus 1. So one s and one s gets cancelled. So as we apply the limit, it becomes something by 0, which is infinity. So what will be the steady state error? It will be a by infinity, which is 0. So as type number increases, the error will keep on reducing. Okay. So that is what is written here. Now for a parabolic input. When the parabolic input means what? R of t is at square by 2. So what will be R of s? It will be a by s cube, right? So if you substitute that into that expression, limit s tends to 0, s into R of s divided by 1 plus gs. Okay, what will you get? S into a by s cube by this thing. So one s and one s gets cancelled. This becomes s square. This s square will come to the denominator. It becomes a divided by s square plus s square times ds. As limit s tends to 0, s square part becomes 0, which means a divided by limit s tends to 0, s square times g of s. That is called static acceleration error constant. AA is called static acceleration error constant. Static acceleration error constant. Okay. So for 0 steady state error, Ka must be infinity, which means g of s should be at least of type 3. Okay. So if g of s is of type 2, Ka is finite and it results in a constant steady state error. If g of s is of type 1, K equal to 0 and steady state error is infinity. So it can be observed that the value of steady state error decreases as the static error constant increases. Right? So what we have discussed so far is tabulated here. Okay. So for a type 0 system, giving a step input will lead to finite steady state error. Giving a ramp input to a type 0 will lead to infinity, and giving a parabolic will also lead to infinite steady state error for a type 0 system. Coming to type 1 system, step input will lead to 0 steady state error. Ramp input to a type 1 will give finite steady state error, and from parabolic onwards, type 1 system will give infinite steady state error. Type 2 system will give 0 steady state error for a step input, 0 steady state error for a ramp input, and a finite steady state error for a parabolic input signal. That's why I told in the beginning, steady state error will depend upon the kind of the input signal and the type of the transfer function g of s. Let us take up one example. Find the steady state error for inputs of 5t and 5t square to the system shown below. So it is type 0 system, right? So how will you find Kp? Kp is limit s tends to 0 GSHS or GS. Okay, so that means limit s tends to 0, 120 into s plus 2 divided by s plus 3 into s plus 4. Okay, so that will be some finite value, right? So what will be the corresponding error? ESS1 will be what? A divided by 1 plus Kp. What is A here? A is 5. We are considering a step input of magnitude 5. phi divided by 1 plus kp. It will be a finite magnitude. Okay. So if you solve, you should get a value of phi divided by 21. So this must be 20. Similarly, when the input is a velocity input, right? What will be a steady state error? A divided by kb. What is a here? A is the slope. Phi. Phi divided by limit s tends to 0. S into 120 divided by 120 into s plus 2 divided by s plus 3 into s plus 4. So as s tends to 0, this denominator becomes 0, so that ESS2 becomes infinity. Similarly, when the input is 5t square. By the way, what is a in this case? A is not 5, a is 10. How? Because this is similar to a by 2 t square. T square gets cancelled, so a will be equal to 10. Okay. So what will be steady state error? Error will be a divided by ka, right? So that means 10 divided by limit s tends to 0, s square into g of s. So s square into g of s will be 0, so that you get again infinity. Okay. So applying a 5 step input of magnitude 5 to this system will give finite error, and applying 5t and 5t square onwards will give an infinite steady state error. So there's no point in applying a velocity input as well as a parabolic input to this given type 0 system. That's the conclusion. Okay. Now, given the control system below, find the value of k so that there is 10% error in the steady state. Okay. What's the type number here? Type of the system is 1. What should be the input here? What should be the input signal here? Step input? No, because if you give a step input to a type 1 system, what is your error? If you give a step input to a type 1 system, the error is 0. Okay, it is a non-zero error. You are asked to find k so that there is 10% error. So there should be some finite steady state error. Means what? The input should be a ramp input or a parabolic input. So R of s must be 1 by s square. Okay. So we are asked to find what should be the value of k so that there is 10% error in steady state error. Means what? We have to calculate what is kb, static velocity error constant. Limit s tends to 0, s into g of s. Okay. So what you get? Limit s tends to 0, s into k into s plus 5 divided by s into s plus 6 into s plus 7 into s plus 8. S and S gets cancelled. You will get 5k divided by 6 into 7 into 8. This is what? This is kb. There is 10% error. That means what? Steady state error must be 0.1. So what is steady state error in terms of kb? 1 divided by k. Okay. So ESS is nothing but 1 divided by k, which means 0.1 must be equal to 6 into 7 into 8 divided by 5 k. Or from this, your k will be equal to what? K will be equal to 672. Okay. Your k has to be 672 so that steady state error is 10% in this case. Okay. Now, what are the information that we get from static error constant? First information is about the stability, whether the system is stable or not. Okay. What do you mean by stability? We are going to see that in the next class. Then we will get information about type of the system, right? Then what's the kind of the test signal that you are giving? Say, if you are finding Kp, we know static position error constant. That is because of a step input. If it is Ka, acceleration error constant, that is because of a parabolic input or an acceleration input, and so on. And similarly, you will get information about steady state error, whether it is 0, whether it is finite, or whether it is infinity. Okay, so all these informations can be deduced from the given static error constants. Now, what we had seen so far were for strictly unity feedback system. Now, what if the feedback is non-unity, right? Say, for example, you have a system like this. G2 of s is the forward path transfer function. H1 of s is the feedback path transfer function, right? So here, you cannot directly apply that expression because this is not the actual error. What's error here? This signal minus some signal here, which is coming from the output through the feedback path transfer function. Error strictly means input minus output, R of S minus C of S. Okay, but here that's not happening. Why? Because of this non-unity feedback block. Okay, so we have to do some adjustment. What can we do? As a first step, we can shift this summing point to this side of the block, or rather, block can be brought to the right side of the summing point. We know the block time reduction rule, right? To shift the summing point to this side, what happens? This becomes different. H of S will be different, right? It is not H of S anymore. Then what it is? It will be H of S, H1 of S divided by G1 of S. Okay, when you shift this summing point to this side of the block, this becomes H1 of S divided by G1 of S, right? So I am representing that with the gain H of S, transfer function H of S here, right? Now what next? So this is now at this point, that means G1 and G2 are in cascade. So this is my transfer function G of S, right? What is my H of S? H of S is nothing but H1 of S divided by G1 of S, because you are shifting this summing point to this side of the block, right? So now you see we have the feedback configuration in this way. Now what next? I will add and subtract unity gain paths at this point. Okay, so this is -1. Minus 1 is coming at -1, so that means it is positive feedback. And here this is unity gain at negative feedback, right? So it's not going to change. Now you see this much part. How do they appear? They are in parallel. You can say this is a pick off point, right? And it ends at the same summing point. So this becomes H of S -1. Okay, so this becomes H of S -1. Now what next? These two are in feedback, so I can reduce it down. G of S divided by 1 plus G of S divided by 1 plus G into H, where H of S is this thing, correct? So the next block I will get a transfer function of this kind. Now you can find you can apply the formula that we derived, because here we have error, and error is nothing but R of S minus C of S. Okay, so in this way you have to bring a non-unity feedback system into unity feedback form, and then you can apply the error formula that we derived so far. Okay, now if you have a closed loop transfer function in a single block, say for example, this is your planned transfer function in the forward path, this is your feedback path transfer function, right? So this I have reduced into one single block T of S. Okay, this is my reference input R of S, this is my output C of S, right? So this thing I reduced. What will be T of S? It will be G of S divided by 1 plus G of S, right? So my T of S is G of S divided by 1 plus G of S. Closed loop transfer function in one single block. That is this thing. Okay. Now, if you want to find error here, how will you find? You must have input, you must have output. This is the input and this is the output. Okay. So straight away you cannot find. So what you have to do, you have to draw a signal channel from the input and with unity gain. Okay. Negate the output and add it, so that you get E of S as R of S minus C of S. Right. Now what is error? Error is nothing but R of S into 1 minus T of S. Okay. And if you apply the first final value theorem, you will get it as limit S tends to 0, S into R of S into 1 minus T of S. Okay. So this is what I said. Your steady state error depends upon the type of the input signal and the planned transfer function type. Okay. Let us try one last example. Calculate the steady state error to a step command in speed. Also, calculate the overshoot of this speed to a step command. Okay. So here you are giving a step input. Say you are giving a magnitude A, right? The question is to find what is the steady state error to this system. So what's the type number? Type is 0. So since type is 0, what will be Kp? Kp will be limit S tends to 0, G of S. So what is that? Limit S tends to 0, 240 divided by S plus 4 into S plus 6. Okay, so you will get 10. Right? So what is steady state error? ESS. ESS is A divided by 1 plus 10, which is nothing but A by 11. Okay, that's how you get steady state error as A divided by 11. Okay. Now what's the next question? Calculate the overshoot. How will you calculate overshoot? For overshoot, we have to have the transfer function in standard form. What's the standard form? Omega n square. The closed loop system should be in standard form. Omega n square divided by S square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square. Okay, so this is my G. What will be the closed loop transfer function? Y by R. Y by R will be G divided by 1 plus G. So you should get 240 divided by S square plus 10S plus 24. Right? So what is omega n? Omega n is root 24 radians per second. Okay, and 2 into zeta into root 24 must be what? Equal to 10, from which zeta can be found out. Okay, if you know zeta, how will you find the overshoot? Percentage overshoot, MP, is given by e raised to minus pi zeta divided by root of 1 minus zeta square. And that turns out to be 36%. Okay. So what did we discuss today? We had seen is the steady state error, right? So as I said before, steady state error depends upon the type of the input as well as the type of the system, right? So with this, we will stop here and meet again next day for a new lesson.